It's that time of year again, and pumpkin pails are in. I'm going to need a bunch of these. I'm going to need some pool noodles, some orange, black, and purple. But I'm going to start with these little pumpkins that I got off Amazon. They got cute little handles, and they're going to be great for my string lights outside. But they don't fit right over the bulb. So I'm going to take a little razor knife, just cut a little slit, 4 of them, right on the top at 90 degrees to each other. What that does is allow me to sneak it up over the bulb. I'm going to take the handle and I'm going to put it in the front because that way it can clip right onto the clip of the light. I'm going to be very careful, slip it on there and put it on, and it's great. And I can put these all up and down the string lights. Now watch this. Whenever the lights come on, oh, look at that. Super awesome, and they're glowing. I love how they look in the backyard. But now let's go to the front yard. I need to get some pumpkins that I grabbed from Walmart, and they got the orange and the black ones. Also, I'm gonna need some pool noodles. I got my black, orange, and my purple. I'm gonna take these and I gotta get them all cut up. Now on the black ones, I decided to make those the smaller ones. So I'm gonna take those with the serrated knife, and they cut real easy. Made sure I put down a mat because I don't want to cut up my table. And I'm going to keep cutting them. The next is purple. I'm going to make this a longer one and use the first one that I cut as a template. And I'm going to keep cutting those until I get all the noodles cut up that I need. Then I'm going to have a bunch of them all in a row. I'm going to have my orange, purple, and my blacks. First thing I'm going to do is grab those pails. I need to drill a hole on the side. Want to make sure you don't drill directly in the middle, but closer to the top, so that way the pumpkin wants to face up. I'm going to get 2 holes drilled so I can put a cord through them. Once I get those drilled, take that cord and I'm going to put it all the way through. Now you're going to need a long one. It's going to be at least 20 feet. I'm going to pull it through, tie a knot on each side. That's way the pumpkin does not move on me once I get it exactly in place. As you can see, the knot won't let it go through the hole. Next, I'm going to put the pool noodles together. You want to make a random type of noodle, or you can make it to where it's always the same with every color in a certain row. I went ahead and went with it with every color a certain row just because I like the uniformity of it. And I'm just gonna keep slipping those pool noodles over in between each pumpkin. Now each pumpkin is separated about 4 feet. I'm gonna go with the orange, then the black, and then back to orange again. Just going through and putting pool noodles in each side. Once I got all of those done, it's going to be time to hang it, and I can use the bucket handles to hang it after I put some hooks up on the front of the house. And there they are. And I like how it looks. And I put some lights in the orange ones, and they blink randomly, and they look super awesome. I love how it turned out. Now remember, this is for the front of the house, and I've got the back of the house ready also. Look at these lights. They just look amazing. I'm ready to have those Halloween parties or when those trick-or-treaters come up to get those treats. I hope this inspired you to make your own inexpensive little Halloween decorations. Thank you for watching Hometalk, and we'll catch you next time.
We're going to go to the store and we're going to grab 3 of these little pumpkin candy buckets. The first thing you'll do is you're going to snip off the handles. Now we're going to paint these to look like ceramic. So we're going to grab some acrylic paint and a jar, and we're going to make a paint color. So I started with a mauve color and some white, and I kind of mixed it until I got it the color that I really like. And then we're going to grab some baking powder, and we're going to add that to the paint mixture, and that's going to give it some texture. So when you mix this together, it's going to kind of fizz a little because the water that's in the acrylic, because you want a water-based acrylic paint, is going to react, and it's going to make it a little thicker. So it's more ceramic-like. And then you're going to cover your entire pumpkin and just keep going over it. And if you need to do a second coat, you can do that. Then I took another jar and did the same thing. And this one's just a little off-white, kind of a beigey kind of a color, and painted it that way. And then I did my third one. And then we're going to take a drill, or you can use a punch or something like that. And then you're going to take a dowel, and that's going to show you the angle that you want. And then you're going to drill your hole there. And you see how it's at an angle. And then we're going to do it to the next pumpkin. So you're going to line that up and put your finger right where you want the next hole to be. You can use a pen if that makes it easier. I just used my thumb. And then I drilled a hole. Next, I put the dowel through the hole, and then this is how I can navigate the angle that I want my pumpkins to sit. Then I was able to see where I wanted the next hole above, and then added that, and then I did it to the third one. And then after that, I stuck it into a planter outside, which I have this giant fig tree. And then I put some floral foam inside. And then I just started adding some of my faux flowers. And you just kind of position them as you go, layering different flowers. And if you have a long stem, you could just curl that up and fold it and just put that right inside. So what I did was some of them would just fit right in, and then some of them I would add right into the floral foam. If I had like a little piece, you just decide what works best for you. And like I said, you don't necessarily need the floral foam. You can kind of stuff it with paper or some newspaper or something else if you don't want to purchase floral foam. And then this looks so cute. Look how festive that looks. And it's just a little addition that I added to my fiddle fig tree that I have right on my front porch. And I love the way this turned out. And now I'm going to show you one other idea. And I got some little potted flowers from the garden center. And I just added those right inside each hole. And I kept them right in their pots so that would make it easier to water. I could take them out if I wanted to or not. But look how beautiful these are. And they bloomed for me overnight, so they look even more beautiful. I just love it with the fresh flowers. I think that's the one I prefer the most.
For today's project, we're going to start with one of these pumpkin pails. Oops, this one though has a hole in it. We're going to need to tape that off because we need this thing to hold concrete. So put a couple layers on, take that smile, let's get to work. First thing we're going to do is take a bottle that can fit inside the bucket. Any size will do, but it's got to be able to fit inside there because we need to create a cavity. Also, I'm going to put a little bit of a dowel on the bottom with some hot glue just as a spacer and as a drainage point. We're going to set that on there. Now we're going to go outside, and as you can see, I am setting up this concrete outside. It does create a lot of dust. First thing you want to do is pour some water in the bucket before you pour the concrete, then some concrete. I am using gloves because this concrete can really dry out your hands. But once you pour it, make sure you add a little bit more water. We're going for kind of a soupy mix on this concrete. Once you get it stirred up and it's nice and thin, go ahead and put it in the bucket. But I need you all to do me a favor. Next time I pour this concrete, will you guys remind me to put down some cardboard? It does get a little messy on the driveway. What we're going to do though is keep filling this up. And yeah, that's Pam cooking spray. We're going to put that on the bottle and the dowel because it's going to be easier to remove once you put that slippery spray on there. Once we get it filled up, go ahead and stick that right in there, that bottle. But it wants to float. So once we fill up the sides, I notice that it wants to just keep popping up. Tap the sides though. We want to get any air bubbles out that we can. I put a little spacer block inside on top of the handle there, slip it right in, and that way it'll hold it down while the concrete cures. Once we get it set up and in place, let it dry overnight. But the next day, it's going to be ready to go. And here it is in all its glory. Take that block out, but we need to remove the concrete from the pail. Get you a sharp knife, and we're going to go right along behind the handle, down one of the creases. Now be very careful. Keep all your digits and everything out of the way, and just make a couple of passes and cut. Don't cut all the way through at the bottom though, because you can actually reuse this pail by taping up the sides. Once you get it, start pulling it apart. Tip it over if you need to because it's a little heavy. That thing weighs about 15 pounds. And there it is. But we got to get rid of that bottle also. Remember we put that Pam cooking spray? It'll just come right out, but the dowel got stuck in there. So I'm going to grab a pair of pliers and just pull that right out. Now, if you don't have a drainage hole on the second one that I did, just use a drill. You can go ahead and just drill through. That concrete's still soft, and that'll make a great drainage hole. Now it's time to paint. Yep, you got it right. I went with the rustic orange because we want to make this pumpkin look as real as possible. Then I want to paint the eyes. I want those to stand out a little bit. Just a little bit of acrylic black paint will do the work. Again, this will take just a couple of coats. Once that paint dries, we need to put a protective finish on it. This thing's going to sit out in the fall, in the winter. It's going to need something to protect it from all the rain and all the mist and fog. And then it's time to plant. Any little type of plant will do. Remember, it's got a drainage hole. And there it is. Looking great. Add a little bit of water and keep it good. And it's going to greet all those little trick-and-treaters as you come up to the front door.